Alrighty, I'm going to start with the Juvias Place, the Masquerade Mini, and I'm going to start off with the color Ada that they have here. Excuse me if I'm being extra goofy, y'all. This is my very first talk through video. I'm going to do the best that I can. So I did my eyebrows as you guys can see. Now I did put down my concealer as my base, a lighter concealer. I'm just patting with the Morphe brush. I don't know the number of it because it's worn off. I just took off that excess product that I had, so when I do apply the eyeshadow like I am now, it won't be cracked or caked because I don't want too much product on there. You definitely want your eyeshadow to be popping. This brush that I'm using here it came in a pack from Target. You can use any blending brush. I'm just packing on the color right now to get a nice color effect. I'm not swirling. I'm just patting on the color to make sure that I get the color, the brightness that I want. Now I'm gonna go in this is Jaclyn Hill palette, the very first one. And I'm going above that color from Juvia's Place to make sure that I do not have any harsh lines. The color is Creamsicle. It's a nice yellow color. Just putting it right above. This brush that I am using now is another brush from Morphe, and I'm going to put all the brush names below so that you guys can see. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not a Morphe brush, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm going to link it all down below. Now I'm going to go in with two darker colors just to make the back of this, what I'm building up to. I'm using two darker colors, both by Makeup Geek. One is called Bitten, and the other darker one is Cherry Ola. You're going to notice that the Cherry Ola I'm going to put on more towards like the end of the eyeshadow. Well, you'll notice it'll be a way darker color. I'm going to start on my other eye, basically doing the same exact thing, looking at both of them, making sure that they're as close enough to one another as I could possibly get. Once again, I'm packing on that color, making sure that there's no harsh lines here. And don't ever think that you're putting your eyeshadow too high, because you're not. As long as it's well blended, it will look perfectly fine, I promise you. And this is where I'm adding in the Cherry Ola from Makeup Geek. That's the darker color there. And I'm putting it right into my crease. This is going about fast. That's just the lighter concealer that I'm going to be using by Nars. And then I'll put the brush that I'm using. It's just basically a lip brush that I'm using to carve out my crease. I'm just taking a Q-tip and some makeup remover and taking off as much as I can so that I don't have a lot of product down. Because if you have too much product down on your eyes or anywhere on your face, it will look a mess. It will crack. It will cake. And then the concealer that I am using right now is the lightest color by Nars. And if I'm saying any of this stuff wrong, y'all will be okay. I'm going to put the names below. This is Chantilly. And I'm just trying my best, and take your time when you're doing this, because it's not the easiest thing to do to cut a crease. Believe me, I practiced enough to know how hard it is. And you want to start at the very bottom and work your way up. Like I said, please take your time with cutting your crease when you first start learning how to do this, because it is not easy. And you do want to make sure that your cut crease, after you're done, you want to make sure that it is nice and smooth. And you could just do that by patting it with a clean brush or the brush that you're applying it with. You do not have to use that much product less is more with makeup. And also, there's not one way to do makeup. There is no rules. You do what you want to do to get the look that you want. Using my Jaclyn Hill palette. I love this palette. I do want to try her newer palette. That is, I'm using the color for right in the beginning of my eye. I am using the color Beam. It's a nice white shimmery color. It is super pretty. Now right here, I'm using Jaclyn Hill palette still. I'm using a pink color. It's called Sissy. And I'm blending it well with the first color that I put on, the Beam. I'm just putting those right next to each other, making sure that they're well blended together. I'm going to do the same exact, excuse me, same exact thing with my other eye. I just started with the Sissy in the middle, blending it out. And this is the same, this brush I'm using now is basically a flat, short brush in that same palette that I got from Target like 3 years ago. But I have a similar brush that I will put down below. And basically I'm patting this down. I'm not using swiping motions. I'm patting it. Putting in the color Beam from Jaclyn Hill again on this side of my eye. And you can take it up as high as you want. Just make sure it's well blended with the other colors that you are using. Patting motions, patting motions. Taking my blending brush. And I'm just going back in with the darkest color that I used when I started the look. That's the Cherry Ola from Makeup Geek. And then to blend it and not make it look as harsh, I'm going back in with that very first color that I used from Juvia's Place Masquerade Mini, the Ada. And I'm just blending it into my cut crease. And I'm also blending it to where I started from the beginning of my shadow. Doing the same thing on the other side. Now I'm going in with my NYX eyeliner in black. And that is the vinyl liquid liner. And I also take my time when I do my liner, because getting the straightest line possible is hard. I do definitely make sure I position myself correctly on my vanity. My elbow is on the vanity so that my hand can be nice and steady when I'm putting that black liner down, because I do like to be precise with my makeup. I mean, I am a makeup artist. I do try to make it look as perfect as possible. And you're going to do light, short strokes. I don't usually start from the beginning when I do my eyeliner. I usually start from the middle and take it all the way to the end of my eye. And then I work my way to the front of my eye with my liner. Gonna go in with the lashes. Eyelure. I got these from Ulta. Ulta always has the eyelash plugs, no lie. I probably got these on sale for like $6.99. They're Eyelure number 126. It's also super not easy for me to put lashes on myself. As far as putting them on my clients is a breeze. And the eyelash glue that I am using Besso's eyelash adhesive. Before you put your lashes on, make sure that you are sizing it to your eye. Some lashes will be too long, some will be too short. Mostly too long, I'm sorry. I do use tweezers so I can be very precise when I'm putting it on. I can use my fingers, but I just prefer to use my tweezers. This is my favorite product for priming. I have not used, you could tell it's damn near gone. But this is the NYX Honey Do Me Up. It smells so good and it feels so good on the skin. And it makes my makeup foundation look amazing. You do want to make sure that this is dry, or at least that's what I do. I make sure that this primer it's very wet. I make sure that it's dry. I use my fan to make sure before I apply my foundation. I'm using my favorite foundation as of right now. I love this foundation. It's perfect on my face. It is called Punta Cana 435. The I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. And I'm spraying my face down NYX Professional Makeup Bare With Me Primer. I'm also using Tarte. I'm also using Juvia's Place. Those two concealers, Juvia's Place is in number 15, and then the Tarte is Light Natural. I'm sorry, Light Neutral. I am putting the lightest concealer in the more corner so of my eye, just because that's where I want it to be the lightest. And then I'm putting the Juvia's Place down below on my chin, forehead, and then down the middle of my nose. I'm gonna use a brush to do it with my nose because I have a slightly larger nose, so I don't want to make when I contour, it'll make sense. It'll make sense. I'm also going to put the concealer to make my contour pop more. Once again, kind of like with my nose. As long as it's all well blended out, it will all come together, I promise. And then what I use to contour is the Juvia's Place foundation stick. Namibia, I believe it's called. Once again, I will make sure I put everything down below. Yeah, I suck at that part. You want to put this in the places that, you would be bringing it where shadow should be. So down the sides of my face, forehead, jawline, under my lip. And then of course down the sides of my nose. I'm going in now, these brushes, and I probably didn't say the foundation brush I use, they both are Real Techniques. The one that I just showed you right there that I'm going to be blending with is my Expert Face brush. I love these brushes. They are perfect for blending. I do normally use a blending sponge, but I've been using brushes lately. And when it comes to my foundation and blending out my contour, I'm definitely going for a Real Technique all the way. The one that I use for my foundation is the Instapop face brush. And as you can see, to blend that out, I'm using tapping motions. And I am doing my concealer last for a reason, because you do want your concealer to become tacky. You don't want it to be super duper wet when you blend it out, because a lot of the product is going to come off on the brush. And then also for a fuller coverage, as you can see, all this makeup is full coverage. I love full coverage. I'm a full coverage girl. I want to make sure that the concealer just gets tacky and a little bit dry, but not too dry where I can't move it. And I'm just going back in with my foundation brush, the same one I used to apply my foundation, and I'm blending out that concealer. Make sure you're blending out those edges. You see how flawless that just looks, how blended, how well blended it looks. Tapping motions, ladies, tapping motions. Gonna put some more of the lighter concealer on, because I feel like I want some more. I want to be a little bit brighter right there, obviously. And I left this part last for a reason, just because I do want that to be on there. I want it to be more drier than anything because I want that to be, for me, that corner is the easiest to like mess up when I'm just with, you know, with the creases I have there and all. Now I'm going over everything, my contour, make sure it's well blended with my highlight concealer, using the same foundation brush. Since it still has a little bit of product on it from my foundation, it's just going to make everything melt. I'm going between my foundation brush and then also my expert face brush that I use to blend out the contour. Now I'm going in, I'm setting everything. This white brush is the brush I was telling you guys from the beginning. It's basically a Morphe brush. I believe it's the M3. I'm not for sure. It's kind of worn out. But the powder that I am using, I mix my powders to get the perfect shade for me. I also do the same with my clients. I am using FitMe by Maybelline in the color medium, light medium 20. And I also mixed it with the banana powder from Ben 9. I also put a little bit of Juvia's Place White Sands in this, and I mixed it all together. I'm just making sure here that before you put any powders on, make sure what your makeup is looking like is smooth. Because if you put on the powder and the makeup is not smooth, it's going to look a mess. Because when you put that powder done, you're setting it. It's set. It's done. You're basically putting this powder everywhere that the highlight was. And I'm just pressing the powder in once again. Patting motions with a lot of these makeup techniques. Because you're putting the makeup exactly where you want it to be. No snatched. And don't worry about it being too light. You will be melting this. It will be all melted together. Do not worry. Yes, snatch that face, baby. I'm gonna just use a tinier brush to get in my waterline. And I'm just going in, and I'll put it's a small flat brush that I'm using to apply the color Bitten to my lash line. Gonna apply my mascara now. I like to try different mascaras, so this one I'm trying out the Revlon So Fierce in the color black. I'm going in again with my foundation brush. Same foundation brush I've been using, didn't apply any more product to it, and I'm pushing in that powder into my skin. Pushing it in. See how it's melting and blending? I'm going in with my, this has been my favorite blush for a while now. I got it in an Ipsy kit years ago. This is by City Color Be Matte Blush. I'm using two colors, Fresh Melon and Guava. And I'm using, once again, this is another brush that I got like in a pack, but this is from Tarte. And I'm just putting this color right above and on the apples too as well. Right above my contours where I'm placing this. And make sure that it is well blended. I'm going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit, light to medium. And I'm using my Color de Jour angled brush. And this is from her old collection. And the number 15. Lightly just tapping and setting as well my contour. And now I'm taking a smaller brush. This looks like it's my BH Cosmetic. I also got this in a like a combo set when they had like a sale. I believe it was like 30 brushes for like $12.99. Oh no, I actually got it for free when I got my Brazil Take Me Back to Brazil palette. But anyway, so I'm just taking a little bit of that contour powder from my Anastasia and I'm just pressing it into my cream contour that was already there. Now I am lining my lips and I am taking my lip pencil. And the lip pencil, I actually got it from the beauty supply store. It is a NK Makeup in Cocoa. Just following the natural curves of my lip. I'm going in with a lip brush from Morphe. And I am also using my NYX lingerie from their lingerie collection, the Satin ribbon. And I am going to mesh these two together. Love this nude. This is one of my favorite nudes to use. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and taking time. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate it.